Hi, everybody. This is week 7, and this is a pitch for an app idea for Lee. Lee's business goals are to register 1,000 Twin Cities event planners in the first year. Sorry about that noise. And then she has a phase 2, which is sell search placement ads for the top 100 vendors in the Twin Cities area. And then in year 2, she wants to register 5,000 event planners. And then for her phase 2 of year 2 is to sell search placement ads for the top 500 vendors in the Twin Cities area. So our design objectives is basically connect event planners with event vendors in a simple, easy to use, and mutually beneficial web app. The audience is non-professional people planning events, including weddings, coming of age, retirements, graduations, and things of that nature. The people assisting event planners, relatives, friends are also potential users of this app. Definitely targeting vendors of event services. And then for the criteria of this app, we are building a custom web application. And some requirements of it would be that it needs to be backwards compatible to all browsers, released since 2011, and all site content must be responsive and mobile ready. And our design strategy, so the benefits that we're trying to incorporate within this app is a subscription model, a collaboration tool, having integration, customization, and be a place that has built-in tools. So now we're going to show you our plan.
Hi everybody, Stacy here. So we've revised our map since you would have seen it last, because as we talked further, we realized that really what is the unique benefit of this app versus competitors is the fact that in the most expansive case scenario, like a complex event planning situation where you may have a team of people working on something, and even if you don't have a team of people working on something, really the crux of the idea here is this kind of central dashboard where everything gets organized and through which information is shared among team members in this case. So we revised the map from being a sort of left to right read and linear flow to being what we've been calling this petal map, because it looks kind of like a flower where there is a core and things that are extending outward from it and moving back and forth sort of amongst each other. So you'll see here that in this case, our project lead, who is Ambitious Andrew, he is color-coded a little differently than everybody else for that reason. And he's the person in this situation. Let me back up really quickly just so you have a sense of how this map works. Each of these triangle shapes, zoom out, is, oh my gosh. Don't know why that's happening. Each of these triangle shapes, the way they work per the key up here is everything that's located in this section is indicating features of the app, and that everything in these sections is indicating the objects or the activities that the persona is doing or partaking in. So to get in here and talk about what Andrew's up to when he comes into the app, the things that, and this app is kind of an overview. There's probably several more details we could have incorporated in here, but we felt this gives a very good picture of what the entirety of it would look like. So Andrew comes into the app, and what he is first bumping into that's available to him is the ability to choose his subscription level. And again, in his case, it's a fundraiser that he is pulling together. And he has this admin dashboard available to him. So some of the ways he's using these things is, first, he's making a credit card purchase to choose his app subscription level. And then he's setting up his dashboard, and he's assigning task leads to his project, and he is picking the widgets he wants to use in this particular project. And this is not representing the expansive list of widgets that would be available. It's just giving you a sense of what some of them would be. And he's able, there's two types of widgets. There's the widgets that will populate the sort of community team dashboard in the center here, which are it populates final, I can't remember why I said selections here right now, kind of final information that each team member is collecting. So information on budget or timing, all of that information flows into this dashboard where everybody can come in and see what the heck is going on if they choose to. You can also choose tool widgets that are available to the project, like a budget tool, a timeline tool, a list maker tool, maybe a ballot box if somebody wants to put a voting machine together and get input from the whole team about which event or which venue they like best. So those are some examples of that. And once he has this set up, the community dashboard is populated. And he is also overseeing the project process kind of from this level as it carries on, and once he has given his team marching orders, so to speak, or their relevant piece of the project. This is legible on my screen. Alex, is it legible to you? Like, is it big enough?
May want to
zoom in a little more.
Yeah, because in the video it's kind of hard. There you go. That's better.
Okay. All right. So so now that we have kind of a big overview picture, I'll feel a little more comfortable zooming in, but I wanted to back up here too. We've also included what each of these people is kind of thinking and feeling throughout the process. So Andrew's state of mind is, what elements does my project need and who is best for the tasks? And he's feeling a little stressed about getting this project moving forward.
Yep.
So he has assigned his partner in crime here, ambitious Abby, to securing the venue. And her goal is to provide the perfect setting. She's thinking, this is the client's first big event, and I need a great venue for 500 or more people. She's feeling pressure to find and choose the perfect venue. When she comes into the app tool, the things that are immediately available to her, now that Andrew has set it all up, is entering through by choosing her particular area and logging herself in and setting up a username and password. That will give her the ability to control this entire area. She can give read and or write permissions to anyone she wants, but the default state would be is that pretty much this is private to her, except for the things that are being auto-populated to the dashboard.
Yep.
She's seeing what is happening, what she has available to her is web search integration, where she can, and there's some thinking to do about how this gets populated, because it could get populated two ways. It could get populated manually, meaning she may not have knowledge of highly valued venues and she can put them in this list, but this is also drawing from other web services that have rated different venues in her particular area. She decides to use the voting machine widget, and so she has that available to her in the app. I don't go into detail about how that all comes together, but it's just an example of something she could make use of. So she starts by making her favorites list, and then she's also gathering reviews and opinions from online and personal sources through Google, making phone calls, etc. She refines her favorites list, and then she needs to email some of her top picks and start getting, a feel for, can they accommodate her needs, and getting a proposal from them or an estimate from them. Once she has those in hand, she reviews the proposals and either confirms, rejects, or negotiates with any of the chosen vendors. And then her final choice, the vendor, populates the dashboard widget, making that info available to everybody on the team. Mm-hmm. So that was, can't remember if it was Allison or Abby.
Abby.
And then Abby has responsibility for invites, tickets, and registration. She's thinking, I need this sponsorship invite to really work hard towards securing sponsors for this cause. And she's feeling anxious about convincing sponsors who want to drop some big dollars, and how she's going to make that happen, because her goal is to capture event sponsorships. The whole event, the success of it really hinges on that.
Yep.
What she comes not up against, but what's available to her in the app is, again, she comes in the same way everybody does, by coming into her module, so to speak, signing in and creating username and password. For the sake of, or relative to creating invites, there's an invitation template gallery that she can choose from a set of pre-designed invitations where she would just fill in her key information. And then there's also an invitation customizer tool that lets her maybe bring in her own artwork to these templates, or maybe start from scratch. She also has the ability, and this isn't unique to her, but in this case we're pointing out the ability to connect with e-commerce transaction integration like PayPal. So she chooses her invite template and she customizes it a little bit, and then she sends it out. And here's back from one of her potential sponsors that came from a list that was provided to her by the client of people that they thought were viable sponsors for the fundraising event. And this sponsor says, sign me up for a gold sponsorship. And he or she completes this transaction by paying for the sponsorship through PayPal. And once that transaction happens, then Abby gets a notification that it has occurred, and a message goes back to the sponsor that their sponsorship is confirmed. And then once that happens, that's the information that populates the dashboard. So people on the team, Andrew maybe in particular, can keep tabs on how's it going with acquiring sponsors for the event.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now, Alex, I realize you don't have the ability to point, so I'll try to point for you.
All right, so in this is the teardown. Perhaps we should look at, what else is on this list? Hold up.
The follow-ups?
There's the follow-ups. No, that happened. So yeah, so she's doing the tickets and, no, that makes sense. All right, cool. All right, so after the event's all said and done, Andrew has assigned Allison basically the task of keeping track of how the vendors are tearing down and preparing to leave the area, basically. This could also happen at the beginning of the event, where vendors will need to be checked into the facilities and ensure that they have everything they need there. So in this case, we're going to talk about teardown. She has to ensure an efficient close to the event. She's feeling like she's not looking forward to dealing with pushy vendors. She's thinking she needs a plan to ensure that there are no exit snafus and a backup if needed to build that to the vendors extra if so. That's kind of written weird. If I need to bill vendors extra, if so. So basically what she's thinking is that if they don't tear down in time, she's going to get charged by the venue for just being there longer. So she needs the way to bill that extra charge back to that vendor that's not supposed to be there. So she enters the app by using the same login tools that everybody else that's been assigned these widgets have been using. So there's a username and password that she creates, and then inside of there she'll have a vendor profile for all the vendors that have been populated, and this comes from the central, what is it called? I can't move it.
The dashboard.
Let me look at yeah. So this comes from the central dashboard. And while she's there, inside of that, she can check she can manage the vendor's unique needs. She can check them in, she can check them out. She can see details that are pertinent to them. And then overall, she can see all the vendors lined up, and then the timeline of when they came in and when they left, or when they are leaving. And she also is able to see on a timeline whether or not they're pushing their exiting timeline. So like if they're supposed to be leaving at 12 and they didn't leave at 12, that bar would show up as yellow, or that bar would show up as red, depending on how close they are to that deadline. All of this gets populated and goes back to the project dashboard, in which Andrew has access to and can keep tabs on it. I think that's it for that side.
Okay, scrolling.
Scrolling. All right. All right. So now we're coming to the end of the event, and we need to have some sort of way of finding out how the event went, how the attendees liked it. That maybe someone just wants to send a simple thank you. So in this section for our event planning app, Allison is assigned to this area as well, and she has the same login, username, password. She sees these widgets. I'm going to use my PDF here. She uses these widget tools, and she has a survey tool and a thank you. So in this, because this is a fundraising event, hypothetically, she's going to click on the survey tool. In this survey tool, she'll have a template that she could start from, and then an area where she could an area that she can choose a design for the template that's going to be generated through email. So she populates the survey and chooses a template, and in the template she can choose she can set it to where a vendor could reply, an attendee can reply or not reply or take the survey. This is open only because some attendees just don't like doing surveys. So what happens here is once the attendee chooses whether or not they want to reply, in the background there's these survey results that are being populated through this email. Results are tallied, and then she can then download these results and send them to the rest of the team as a separate PDF if needed. It's notification team. The results are available in the dashboard. I probably didn't explain that one very well.
No, it was good.
So then these results, although she can send the email out to the larger team that's not using this app, like maybe there's business executives and people of that nature that need to see the results but aren't necessarily part of the planning, that's where she would then use that outside source to send the results to. However, everybody will be able to see the results within the app at the central dashboard, who's part of the team creating the event.
Then she would probably do the process would look pretty similar for a thank you, I guess, right?
Yes, for a thank you, it would probably be just a pre-populated set of design templates, and she can change the greeting and say something different in that.
Right.
I think it's good to touch on the fact that these petals are all happening concurrently. I mean, depending on the timeline, most of this is happening concurrently, not in like you go from one step to the other. So like securing a venue and creating the tickets and registration, like some of these tasks are happening are overlapping. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, definitely. Which is why we've, kind of felt like moving away from that left to right read made sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think we covered it. We didn't to restate our problem statement here, which we think this begins to get at solving. Again, there would be obviously a lot more to work out. There would be more petals added to this map that would be different, probably assignments or elements of planning an event. But overall, we feel like this is a good, but also becoming very interestingly quickly a very heavy map application. What am I trying to say? There's a lot going on here. Interesting to really think about how this would all get built and integrated within, etc. But we think it solves the problem of event planners needing a tool that offers an intuitive user experience and allows for real-time collaboration between the event leader, the team members, if relevant, and vendors and event attendees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So anything else to add?
No, I think we got it.
Okay.
Right.
So let us know what you think. And thanks for watching our presentation, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Bye.